Good morning. So what we're going to do today is make some hot process soap. In here I have my oils already melted and ready to go. It's olive oil, coconut oil, castor oil, and cocoa butter. Right here I have my lye dissolved and it's ready to go. Always be very careful. You need gloves, face mask, and goggles at all times dealing with lye. Over by the microwave, I have my super fat, which I always put in at the end. And that is today shea butter, cocoa butter, and a little bit of sweet almond oil. And that's the microwave letting me know it's ready. I also have some Greek yogurt with the leftover water because I retain water for the end. And that'll help me keep this a little bit more fluid. Part of the oil that I have was Dandelion infused olive oil. So we're hoping that it comes out to a nice color because this is my first time using Dandelion infused olive oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started. One thing to tell you is when you work with lye in your water solution, which for me is distilled water, almond milk, and I also put in a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar. The salt will give us a nice hard bar, and the sugar will give me some extra bubbles, just like the castor oil. You always want to pour your lye into the water solution and not the other way around. So be very careful pouring into the oils. Use the spoon or spatula to help keep it from splashing on you. And pour it right in there. And you want to scrape out every last bit because that's good stuff. And there we have a trace. I'm going to scrape my blender to get all of that right back in there. Being very careful to not turn it on again. And I'm going to open the cabinet while I'm doing it. But if you can see, this is like a thin pudding before you put it in the fridge. I'm going to scrape down the sides, and then I'm going to cover it up and let it do its thing. I'm going to come back when it's at the next stage. And then I'll tell you about why I choose hot process. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and I'm going to show you how far along we've come. Well, not really super far, but see, it's gotten a whole lot thicker. Can you see that? So we're going to mix this up. Get it all loose. The reason why I choose hot process soap making is because I like to soap at higher temperatures. And I also like to be able to control which super fat I use in order to get the best benefits for your skin, which I'm not claiming. But with cold process soap making, you don't really get the chance to decide which oil you use is not going to be sulfonified with, and I said that wrong, excuse my brain, it's not going to be neutralized by the lye. This way, I add it at the end and I'm sure that it's going to be neutralized, or it's not going to be neutralized. Oh my goodness. And this is what happens when you do a video for the first time. You screw up your words. But I'm really liking how this is looking. I'd like to feel how it changes. And that's why I like hot process, because I can actually see it and feel it and know exactly where we're at. So I'm going to scrape down the sides, and then I'm going to come on back and let you see the next step. It's pretty easy. Scrape out all back in there because that's soap we don't want to lose. All right, we'll see you back in a couple minutes. Okay, so I just wanted to show you really quick, and then I'm going to put the cover right back on so it can do its thing. But can you see it starting to separate right through here and bubble? That's a good thing. You are going to see some oil come to the top, but you mix it up and look at how much thicker that is. You mix it right back in there, and then you let it do its thing again. I'm loving this color from the Dandelion. I hope it kind of stays this way. It's a nice summertime color. I've got my oils already measured and ready to go for the Dandelion body butter, which I'm going to use the same scent as this soap. It'll be nice, a cute little line for the summer, maybe, because that's where I like to soap, and it's pretty quick that way. And you can see it getting thicker and thicker. And then you're going to see it start to separate, and then you just beat it right back into submission. So I'm going to put the cover back on and let it do a thing for a minute, and we'll see where we're at in just a couple minutes. With this, you never want to turn your back on it. I will not go chit-chat. I will not get on the phone. I will not text people, just because it can rise up and do a volcano on you and make a huge mess. And then you're going to waste all your soap. So let me put the cover back on, and I'll be back in a minute. So let me show you what it's doing now. This is called a volcano, and this is why you don't turn your back on it for long. And you see it starting to turn it over on itself. If I weren't to come in and smoosh it down, it's going to come up over the top and make a huge mess. That's completely normal. Some soaps will volcano once, some will go 3 or 4 times. And there's the phone, but I'm not going to get it because it's getting ready to do it again. And see that the appearance is starting to change. It's starting to look a little bit like Vaseline. And that's kind of what we're looking for as well. So I'm going to let it do a thing for another minute. I'm going to leave this running because it's probably going to volcano again pretty quick. But you always want to keep the heat in because it's going to not allow so much moisture to escape. And that'll make this batter a little bit more fluid. And that's what I like. Even though I will still use a spoon to scoop it into the mold because I'm a klutz and this is heavy and I don't want to spill it. It looks like it's going to take its time. I'm going to shut this down a minute and I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's see what we got going on. It's starting to fold back in on itself again, which means it's going to try to volcano. You see it, the oil separating, which is also very normal. All you got to do is stir it back in. You see how fluid it's already getting. We're getting closer to the end. This is why I like hot process, because I get to watch it do it all within a few minutes. Such a pretty color, such a pretty color. And you want to make sure you keep it moving so it doesn't scorch, because that'll ruin your soap as well. Keep stirring. All right, let's see what else it does. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add my super fat. And like I said, this consists of, and I already melted it, cocoa butter, shea butter, and a little bit of sweet almond oil. I'm going to just put that in. We're going to mix it up really good so every part of the soap gets this beautiful oil. And that'll loosen things up as well. So we want to make sure we stir it in really, really good. Now this is yogurt and water that I melted down. And this will help get it a little bit more fluid. This got a little bit thicker than I am used to seeing, probably because I had it too hot. But it's starting to loosen up a bit, which is awful pretty. There we go. Much better. Much better than it was. Now we're going to go ahead and add the fragrance. And then we'll put it in the... Oh yeah, that smells really, really good. And we mix this up really good as well because we don't want a piece of soap smell like nothing and a piece of soap smell beautiful. So I'm going to get my mold and my trusty spoon. We're going to put it right in there. This is just a plastic mold that I got at Dollar Tree. And actually it's just a drawer organizer. You line it with freezer paper or wax paper. Put it in there. And it's always good to stomp it down, get some air bubbles out. Put some more in. I made a pretty small batch. This is just over 2 pounds. I'm going to tamp it down again. Make sure I get it in all the nooks and crannies. And whatever is left over in the crock pot, I let it dry, and then I scrape it out, and I put it in an airtight bag. And that will turn into my no-waste soap, which is basically going to be ugly because it's going to have different colors in it. But it's got all the benefits of everything that I put into all of my soaps, and it still feels wonderful on the skin. It's just not going to be the prettiest. So we're going to flatten this out. Some talented ladies make some beautiful designs, me not so much. I put it in, spread it around, tamp it down, and I call it done. I'm going to